Imagine this for a second. You read a chapter today. Tomorrow, it's gone. Next week, you don't even remember the title. But somewhere in Japan, a student reads the same chapter once, and their brain says, "Relax. I've saved this. Permanently." How? Do Japanese students have secret superbrains? Do they drink memory tea? Do they sleep with textbooks under their pillows? Not exactly. Today, I'm going to show you how Japanese students train their brain for long-term memory, using habits so simple that you might laugh and say, "That's it. Yes, that's it. And that's why it works." Let's start with something surprising. Japanese students don't study longer. They study smarter, lighter, and repeatedly, like sneaking vegetables into a pizza so your brain doesn't complain. Here's the first big secret. Japanese students don't trust motivation. They trust routine. Motivation is like that friend who says, "I'll come," and never shows up. Routine is boring, but boring things get results. From a young age, Japanese students follow a fixed study rhythm. Same time, same place, same method. When your brain sees the same pattern again and again, it stops fighting. It says, "Oh, this again. Fine. I'll remember." Think about brushing your teeth. Do you need motivation? Do you forget how to do it? No. Your brain memorized it for life. Japanese students treat studying the same way. Same desk, same notebook style, same pen, same order. Their brain doesn't waste energy adjusting. All the energy goes into memory. Now here's where it gets interesting. Japanese students don't chase understanding first. They chase familiarity. In many countries, we think, "I must fully understand this before moving on." Japanese students think, "I don't need to understand everything today. I just need to meet it." Yes, meet it. They read material quickly, even if it feels confusing. No stress, no panic. Why? Because the brain remembers things it has seen before. The second time you read something, it feels easier. The third time, even easier. The fourth time, you start saying, "Wait, I know this." That's not magic. That's memory warming up. Japanese students use something called light repetition. Instead of studying one topic for 5 painful hours, they study it for 10 minutes. Then come back tomorrow. Then the next day. Then again next week. Short, easy, repeated. Your brain loves this. Your brain hates cramming. Cramming is like shouting information into your head and running away. Repetition is like gently knocking and saying, "Hey, it's me again." Now let's talk about something they do that looks silly but is incredibly powerful. Japanese students write things by hand. A lot, but not long notes. Not novels. They write tiny summaries. One sentence. Sometimes just keywords. Why? Because writing forces the brain to slow down and decide what actually matters. Typing is fast. Your fingers do the work. Your brain goes on vacation. Writing by hand is slow. Your brain stays awake. It's like walking instead of driving. You notice more. Here's a simple example. If a Japanese student learns about photosynthesis, they won't write 3 pages. They'll write something like, "Plants use sunlight plus water plus air food." That's it. Simple, clear, easy to remember. And here's the genius part. They rewrite the same idea multiple times, but slightly differently. First day, short sentence. Second day, keywords. Third day, tiny diagram. Fourth day, explain it in one line. Same idea, different angle. Your brain loves patterns from different sides. It says, "Oh, this again. I really should keep this." Now let's talk about teaching. Japanese students don't wait to become experts before explaining things. They explain things early, sometimes to classmates, sometimes to siblings, sometimes to imaginary people. Yes, imaginary. If you can explain something simply, your brain locks it in. Try this right now. Explain something you studied last week. Out loud, without notes. Hard, right? That struggle is memory being built. Japanese classrooms encourage students to stand up and explain ideas, even imperfectly. Mistakes are okay. Silence is not. When you explain, your brain organizes information. It connects dots. It notices gaps. That's long-term memory being born. Now here's a habit that sounds boring but is extremely powerful. Japanese students review before sleeping. Not heavy study, not stress, just a quick look. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Why before sleep? Because sleep is when your brain files memories. Think of sleep as your brain's night shift worker. If you show it information right before bed, the worker says, "Oh, fresh files. I'll store these properly." Scrolling social media before sleep? Your brain files memes instead. Choose wisely. Another thing Japanese students do is study in silence. Not music, not podcasts, not background noise. Just quiet. Why? Because memory needs focus. Even small distractions break memory formation. Your brain can't deeply remember something while half listening to lyrics. Japanese libraries are famously quiet. You could hear a pencil breathing. Silence feels uncomfortable at first. Then it becomes powerful. Your brain finally hears itself. Now let's talk about a habit that might shock you. Japanese students stop studying before they feel tired. Yes, they stop early. They don't wait until their brain is fried. Why? Because the brain remembers pleasant experiences better. If studying feels painful, your brain avoids it next time. If studying feels manageable, your brain says, "Okay, we can do this again." They leave the desk thinking, "That wasn't so bad." That feeling matters. Long-term memory is not built by suffering. It's built by consistency. Now here's something beautiful. Japanese students respect small progress. They don't ask, "Did I master everything today?" They ask, "Did I show up?" 5 minutes counts. 10 minutes counts. Memory is not built in one heroic day. It's built in boring, repeated days. Imagine memory like stacking paper. One sheet feels useless. 1,000 sheets become a book. Another powerful habit, testing themselves. Not exams. Tiny self-tests. Close the book. Recall what you remember. Open the book. Check. This simple act strengthens memory more than rereading. Your brain learns better from retrieval than from exposure. Japanese students do this naturally. They ask themselves, "What do I remember?" Not, "What can I read again?" Now let's talk about mistakes. In many places, mistakes feel shameful. In Japan, mistakes are information. If you get something wrong, you discovered a weak spot. That's good. Japanese students circle mistakes. They study mistakes more than correct answers. Because memory grows where struggle happens. Another interesting habit is visual memory. Japanese students use diagrams, arrows, boxes, and spacing. Not fancy art. Simple shapes. Your brain remembers images better than text. A simple box with arrows can beat a paragraph. Now here's a fun one. Japanese students often walk while memorizing. Yes, walking. Movement wakes up the brain. Reciting while walking improves recall. That's why you remember phone numbers better when pacing around. The body helps the brain. And finally, the most important secret of all. Japanese students believe memory is trained, not gifted. They don't say, "I'm bad at remembering." They say, "I haven't trained this yet." That belief changes everything. When you believe memory can grow, you stick with habits long enough to see results. So let's put it all together. Japanese students train long-term memory by showing up at the same time, studying briefly but repeatedly, writing by hand, explaining early, reviewing before sleep, stopping before exhaustion, testing themselves, accepting mistakes, using visuals, believing memory can improve. No superpowers, no magic pills, no all-night suffering, just quiet, boring, powerful habits. And the funny thing? Anyone can do this. Yes, even you. Even if you forget why you walked into a room 5 minutes ago. Your brain is not broken. It's just untrained. Train it gently. Train it consistently. And one day, you'll read something once. And your brain will say, "Relax. I've saved this." That's how long-term memory is built.